Back in Easter of 2013, I reviewed the remake of the original Tomb Raider game, Tomb Raider Anniversary, on the Nintendo Wii, and I like it. But it wasn't my first foray into the adventures of Lara Croft. That honor belongs to the first game in the series to be developed by Crystal Dynamics, Tomb Raider Legend, which I first played and beat on the Nintendo GameCube and have since played it on other platforms such as the Windows PC and the Xbox 360. And I remember when I first got the game, I recognized I have weird taste in games, considering I bought the game on the same day I bought One Piece Grand Battle, also for the GameCube. But enough nostalgia, do I still enjoy the game? Let's find out. The story of the game has Lara Croft journey to the ruins of Tiwanaku in Bolivia. While exploring there, she finds that the ruins are occupied by mercenaries, presumably led by her former friend Amanda, whom she thought was dead after an expedition in Peru went horribly wrong. During Lara's travels and continued run-ins with the group, she eventually finds that Amanda does indeed still live, hell-bent on revenge on Lara for leaving her behind as she searches for fragments of the legendary sword Excalibur, leaving Lara to have no choice but to fight her former friend and assemble the sword before she does. The story is about what you can expect for a game inspired by the likes of Indiana Jones, but it's straightforward and entertaining enough, so no complaints from me. The game is essentially the first reboot of the franchise before it became more grotesque with its second reboot in 2013. Gone are the badly aged tank controls to a more modern style analog play. And like I said in my review for Tomb Raider Anniversary, it makes it kind of hard for me to want to go back and play the classic Tomb Raider games I missed as a kid. Mainly because I had an N64 growing up and I was playing games that, for the most part, never had tank controls in their platformers or action-adventure games. Again, I can tolerate tank controls in a fixed camera angle, but for third-person action-adventure games and platformers, for the most part, it's not the case. And even without playing a 90s-era Tomb Raider game, I can confirm with some clone games featuring kid wizards and vampires. So in short, it helped attract then newcomers to the franchise like me, so it works. Visually, the game holds up pretty okay on all systems. On the Xbox 360, it obviously has some advanced lighting and effects not seen in the Generation 6 version of the game, and in some cases it's even more immersive as I find to need the flashlight a lot in darker corners of it, compared to running the game on last gen mode for the PC version and on the GameCube where I didn't often. Same goes with the PC version's next generation mode. That is, if you can get the damn thing to work in that setting. I only could for the first mission, and the game crashes on me for the later levels, so I run it like the last gen versions. Nevertheless, whether you not have next gen mode on for the PC version, it's that version that looks the cleanest with the right hardware and settings. Sadly, as much as I love the GameCube version all the same, as it was where I first played the game, wow, the game looks blurrier by comparison, and it also doesn't support progressive scan. And I get why. Nintendo stated that the Cube owners barely used the thing, and worse, when I tried to play the game recently to get footage, it does not play at all if you set the Wii's TV mode to 480p. So make sure you run it on standard 480i if you have it. Nevertheless, if hooked up to the right television, the GameCube version still looks okay in its own right, just not as clean as the other versions I played. If there was another problem I had was the gunplay. Granted, for the most part, when you're in a more open battle, it's okay as it does its job on that side, and that it's simple enough to gun down enemies, improvise hazards as you shoot, and hell, even if you're using a tripod machine gun. What does suck is that the accuracy isn't great no matter what weapon you use. Even when you have to zoom in and shoot someone not paying attention, or a certain hook preventing you from continuing, it feels like Lara took up gun-toting at the Stormtrooper Academy, with bullets sometimes scattering where they shouldn't. Even if the cursor says you have a clear shot, you don't. So if you're thinking of using it as a precision aim of sorts, it's not going to work when you're in combat. Another downer is that the game is pretty short, but besides going back to older levels you beat and new costumes you've obtained, what it does add is a time attack mode for each level for whether or not you're a speedrunner or just want a challenge in how fast you can beat it. There's a bit of replay value beyond wanting to experience the story again. Overall, Tomb Raider Legend is still a great first reboot of the Tomb Raider franchise, and personally, my favorite in the series to date. With its short length, you might want to pick it up on a Steam sale, or if you can, find the console versions for a reasonable price. You really can't go wrong. Just note that the next gen mode on PC may not work well, and it's not progressive scan compatible for the GameCube. But overall, Tomb Raider Legend on the PC, Xbox 360, and GameCube deserve an 8.5 out of 10.